Hello everyone. I'm going to recreate a test that I did a few days ago between these two linear comps. This one over here, the Radical Firearms Spitfire. This one here, the Core Valley linear comp. So I was shooting these with a 22 conversion bolt, and when I was shooting it, it felt that like the Radical Firearms was just a tad bit quieter. Some of you guys commented that you thought that this was a lot more quieter than this one. So I'm going to now shoot these two side by side, or rather one after the other, with 223, right? And we're going to see if we can tell the difference. So we're using Tula steel case. For what it's worth, it's about 20 degrees, so that can affect the sound a little bit, but I don't think by much. I am wearing the little ear cushions, okay, just the little earplugs. Prior to putting these linear comps on the rifles, especially these, because this one over here is 11.5, this one here is 13 inches. Prior to putting these linear comps on here, I pretty much had to use full-size earmuffs, and even that was like on the edge of uncomfortable, okay? If I was going to be shooting a lot, sometimes I would have to double up. Now, one of the things I have done, especially to this one over here, is I did put an adjustable gas valve in here, right? It was a Palmetto 13 position adjustable gas valve. And I think that that also helped with the sound a little bit because I have it gassed down. And what that does is it delays the bolt opening, which means that more of the noise is going out the front, right? Because what happens is if your system's on the higher side of being gassed and the bolt opens up a little bit sooner, what ends up happening, a lot of the noise ends up coming out of the ejection port, which of course is closer to your face, closer to your ears, right? And people will refer to that as port pop, okay? So let's try this out. I'm going to fire like 3 rounds out of each, right? And then I'm going to cycle them so you can do a little bit of a comparison. All right, so we'll start with the Radical Firearms. And I'm going to be shooting into dirt so that the pinging of the steel doesn't, like, you know, distort the sound. All right, now we're going to do the Core Valley linear comp. To me, that felt louder, like almost at the point where with these little ear cushions, it's a bit uncomfortable. If I was going to be shooting this gun, I would take off the ear cushions and I would put on like standard earmuffs. Okay, so to me as the shooter, there's that difference. Like this is comfortable to shoot with just the ear cushions, and this is a shorter barrel. This is 11.5 versus the 13 inches, right? So normally you would expect the slightly shorter barrel to be a little bit louder. So this Radical Firearms muzzle brake, right? This linear muzzle brake is making up for the slightly shorter barrel. It's shorter by 1.5 inches, and it's bringing it down to a level where it's just comfortable enough to shoot it with the little ear cushions. I mean, I wouldn't shoot it without the ear cushions because I think that would be very uncomfortable. Let's fire 2 more shots. Yeah, I mean, for me as a shooter, 100%, this thing is worth its money. Okay, I think it was like $140 when they were selling them. And this one over here is about $35, the Core Value one. And I think TAC Fire sells a very similar design for $20. Over the holidays, they had it on sale for like $11. So So you can get this for $11, but there's a big difference between this and this, okay? So this one over here, I'm actually gonna, I don't want to take this apart because I put a little bit of blue Loctite in there, because this section here, because this section attaches to here, but then there's a section up here that screws into here. I had to put a little bit of blue Loctite in there because it was coming loose on me while I was shooting, and the blue Loctite seems to be enough. It just gives it just enough resistance. I mean, I have the red one. I didn't want to use that because you know, occasionally you do have to open it up to clean it. Okay, yeah, this is the winner right here. So with this type of a linear comp, right? It's basically, it has like a single expansion chamber, right? Because it's kind of like when the bullet comes out, right? It kind of like plugs the front hole a little bit, and then the gases kind of slowly escape, or more slowly escape out the sides here. So that sends more of the noise downrange, and it does seem to the shooter, it does seem to make it quieter. Okay, so the thing now with this style here, it's got it's the same idea. It's got a bigger, essentially, expansion chamber, right? Because the sound gets kind of trapped in there. And if you look at this over here, I mean, that looks a whole lot like a baffle. Okay, so the noise kind of gets trapped in there for a second, right? And it's got the same thing that this does, right? Where it's got like the holes in there, but then it's got like another one of the, then it's got this cover on top of it, which temporarily traps the noise in there, and then this has 4 holes on it. Okay, so it looks like there's, I don't know, maybe 12 holes in there, and then there's another 4 holes here. So I couldn't help myself. I had to get a few more rounds and pop them off, man. This one is a real joy to shoot, especially if I don't have to use the big earmuffs. Now, I did try shooting this benched the other day, okay? And one of the things I noticed is that when I shot this benched with the little ear cushions, it was a lot louder. Like, it was uncomfortable with the ear cushions. I had to put on the earmuffs. And the reason for that, I believe, when I was shooting it benched, right, some of the sound was bouncing back off of the table onto me. So this is going to sound very different when you are standing versus if you're benched or you're prone close to the ground and you're getting that sound bouncing back to you. Okay? Yeah, because and that's like 100%. I had to put on the earmuffs. So when I put on the earmuffs, it became a lot more comfortable to shoot. But now that I'm standing, this is very comfortable to shoot. Shot the steel target there too, but the steel target's at 30 yards, just so that we can get a comparison. Now, one of the things I noticed is when I shoot the steel, the camera's picking up the noises very differently. So the steel in the video doesn't sound nearly as loud as the steel, you know, that I'm hearing it over here. So how close the sound is to the camera makes a difference, which is why I wanted to stand in exactly the same spot in this video compared to the other day when I did the same exercise with the 22 conversion bolts. So let me know what you guys think. Drop some comments. I'll talk to you all soon.